that flex on Hanj, though, was insane. All right, first of all, Eren is, like, menacing now. Like, he's big as hell. He's shredded like nobody's business. And he's like, yeah, I could just break out, like, really whenever I want.
AoA, that's a triple play. New episodes, I couldn't wait. Yeah. Open your mind at the first gate. Press play, no need to debate. AoA, check me out. Look, clocked in, you can catch the hype. Golden Dawn, how we follow the light. Anime like life, married to it, my wife.
What is going on, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages? Welcome back to the AoA show. I'm your host, as always, Ian, along with the boys Isaiah.
Oh, hi, oh.
And Gavin.
What is Gucci shoes?
And today we're talking Attack on Titan, episode 69. This is, I think, episode 10 of season 4, for those of you who go by it that way. I get confused sometimes. But anyway, this one's called A Sound Argument. And I'm not going to lie, I was a little off on what I predicted this episode was going to be per se, right? I didn't know if it was going to be like, okay, here's my argument as to why this has to work. Here's this argument as to why. But I really think now, looking into it a little further, it's whatever argument that Zeke gave to Eren might have been what it was, right? Or I don't know if you guys had different interpretations. Just, it's pretty crazy that even the name of this episode can lead to some sort of discussion. Like, what did that really mean, right? Like, whose argument was it? So anyway, this episode was pretty crazy, as per usual, with Attack on Titan. Tensions are boiling. We see some of the motivations for some of the neighboring nations, which is money. Surprise, surprise. Mikasa's royal, which they really don't care about, but I mean, like, it's still pretty crazy to know. I mean, why not? Historia's pregnant, so that's nuts. Or maybe already had the child. Actually, I don't know if she was pregnant at that point.
She's still pregnant, like currently pregnant. I don't think.
Oh, really? I thought you already had the child because I thought the time they were referencing was before. Was in the 2 year like
I thought she did too, but the only thing is actually now the reason I think she's still pregnant now is because when they're having the dinner, and then the guy with the bottle downstairs says
Zeke is there,
or not Zeke, it's what's his name? Is what we get for not putting the name. Niccolo, for not putting the names up. He was the guy that put the one. And yes, you're right. Yeah. Zeke was there as well. So anyway, Jedi mind trick. That didn't happen. So yeah, crazy stuff going on. Gears are moving here. We're here to talk about it. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you do, make sure you guys are liking this video so that we know you enjoy it. If you are new here, make sure you guys are subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you don't miss any future Attack on Titan discussions or any other anime content in general. We're posting quite frequently here. We also have our AoA Reacts channel. Our link is in the description down below. Definitely want to sub there so you can catch our Attack on Titan live reactions as well as JJK, Promised Neverland, all different sorts of shows. You name it, it's there. Definitely go check us out and share with your friends and comment your thoughts down below. These are some of the great videos to read comments on, any civil ones, obviously, because this show just can be interpreted from 38 ways from Sunday. So it's pretty cool to see some of the predictions and theories that you guys come up with or some of the things that you took as a takeaway from this episode that we may have missed or didn't expound upon or something like that. So don't be shy. Definitely comment your thoughts down below. But yeah, let's get into this discussion here. So, I mean, the big thing is what is Zeke's plan? What is his real plan, right? Because we get the kind of the surface level of what it is, which is something that we didn't know for sure. We're like, okay, he either releases the Titans or he doesn't. But I guess now it's silly looking in hindsight. I feel like I should have saw that as something where it's like, well, yeah, he doesn't have to release all of them at the same time, right? So that's the plan, right? He's like, we release some of them to scare the living out of them and tell them that it's like, yo, piss off, we mean business here. And while hopefully that buys us time, because maybe we still lose, who knows, but we can't let them think that. We have children, right? Astoria needs to get pregnant and have as many children as possible to inherit this royal blood. And we need to pass on these Titans and keep on going. And essentially we bide our time until our military is strong enough to be able to fight a full-scale war without destroying planet Earth in the meantime, right? Without having to nuke everything in existence. It's a plan, man. It's a plan, which, to be honest, now that he lays it out, it's like, okay, yeah, it's like, it sucks, but it's like, to be honest, Zeke is like, okay, there's going to be sacrifices, etc. But again, with eating the Titans, it's like you only get 13 years. So it's like, we kind of have to, we have to make a lot of sacrifices in the interim here. And it's ironic in this episode because we keep on getting the flashback between this, these flashback moments and present Eren. And Eren is really against this plan, it seems. He's like, whoa. I'm Aaron. I'm the protagonist. We're going to find a way to do both. You know?
Exactly.
Virtually, in layman's terms, right? He's like, we're saving Historia, and we're going to win if we have to, and we're not going to have to sacrifice planet Earth to do so. Like, we're not doing that. Like, I care about you guys way too much. Historia, don't do that. But now we see present day Aaron, and that's not the case. So there are plenty of crazy things that happen in this episode, but the ongoing thing amongst us here is that Aaron's got to know something now from Zeke, because he has been in contact with him from what we could surmise with the baseball glove. He's been sending letters. It might have been to him too. What is it that Zeke knows that nobody else does, that he won't reveal to anyone, that made Aaron apparently flip on the people that he said, come hell or high water, I really care about you guys. I'm not letting you inherit my Titan. I want you guys to live long lives. That was genuine. I really don't think that he was lying there, you know, to try and service some sort of goal. I genuinely think there was something that just like flipped him, and I think he's in a lot of distress. But I know we were talking about this, but do you have any thoughts on what you think that info could be?
I think that Zeke knows something about like the end game here when it comes to like the Titans, what role he and or Aaron will play in this fight. Because his plan of like, yeah, let's just scare him with, you know, a couple Colossal Titans and then just breed like cattle, and, you know, so that we have a military to, you know, eventually to face them. It's like, okay, that's a cool plan. Where do you fit into that plan? Or where do, like, it's just weird that like this plan doesn't seem to cover your bases. Like, what are you going to be doing during all this? So I feel like that part is left out intentionally because Zeke's actual ulterior motive here, or his end game plan, doesn't involve anybody, or I mean not anybody, but like doesn't involve the victory, let's just say, of all the people at Paradise. It involves like the victory of like, I guess, who he might consider like the pure Eldians, or like the ones that like the rightful Eldians. But I think he told Aaron something through that letter of correspondence, something that he knows, and I feel like I'm like speculating out of thin because I don't even know what this thing is, but it has to be something that I think he must have said, Aaron, X, Y, and Z is going to happen. If you don't believe me, go and eat the Warhammer Titan and like go through Tiber's memories and like use that as a way to confirm the suspicion or the piece of intel that he gave Aaron. And so now, once Aaron went over there and got the Warhammer Titan, maybe Aaron has now seen some shit to confirm whatever the initial thing is that Zeke told him, and now he's like, oh fuck, if Zeke's even partially right, like we have to do this plan. This is the only option. Because yeah, like the episode shows, like before that, you know, going back 2 years, Aaron was not only steadfast, like, nah, Zeke can take his plan and shove it, but he was like, I'm not, you know, all you guys are the ones I care about the most. I'm not letting you guys go through any of this. Like, you know, this isn't about who gets sacrificed and when. And now he's kind of singing a different tune. So I think he's seen something that has made him like, he is now, you know, let's just say more certain. I don't know how, you know, other than like just straight prophesizing, like I don't know how much more sure he could be, or Zeke rather, but like they know something. They have to know something that makes them like hell or high water. Like this is it. Has to be the plan, and it has to work.
Yeah, I guess anything that I could add is something when they were in the trial when Zeke's first plan came through is not only did Aaron deny it, but it also seemed like another stipulation that they would have is it would include Aaron and Zeke both passing down their respective Titans, which to Aaron, how I feel is maybe not that he doesn't want to give it up essentially, but he wants to finish this on his terms while he's alive, almost like to complete everything that's happened. And not only that, he makes a point where he says, I also don't want to accept this initial plan. We still have time. Something else might come up. So I feel like whatever Zeke came forward with and talking to Aaron includes a plan in which while they are both still alive, or specifically while Aaron is still alive, there's potential we can complete this war through XYZ reason. I don't know what it is. However, it involves it in the short term, having Aaron alive, being able to fulfill this plan, other than him and Zeke both respectively dying, passing on the powers and putting it in the hands of somebody else to do it. Because A, I don't think Aaron really wants somebody to go through, especially what he has. And B, it would allow Aaron to finish the job in a sense. And I feel like like that's something that also may turn the tables for him, where he's like, you're giving me an alternate plan that might not bring Historia into this. I can finish it on my own terms. Like it's something that is more palatable for Eren moving forward, obviously, compared to the other plan. So I really don't know what it is, though. Like, it's so crazy.
Yeah, no, and to be honest, with this plan, too, because we've had prior conversations about, right, because, again, I'll bite the bullet on this one, releasing a quarter of the Titans out of the walls or a fraction of them, like, really, I just didn't even think of that. I thought it was kind of all or nothing for some weird reason. I don't know what led me to believe that, but, excuse me, but, it kind of throws a little bit of a wrench into things, because initially the argument was, okay, do we let all the Titans out, and do we wage this large-scale war, potentially destroy Earth or whatever, to save ourselves, or do we lay down and die in the event that maybe one day Eldians can be regarded as not subspecies of humans, and that people can come together and find peace and the whole nine, and like that's the deal, right? Like we don't have enough time to think about this, but it does kind of make things interesting now that there is an alternative plan in that, and being like, yeah, this might not be a pleasant way of going about it, but it does involve a potential where we don't have to destroy the world and where we can buy ourselves that time. So this is something that Isaiah and I were talking about last week, where it's like, I want to know if there's any part of Eren that is in that frame of mind, right? Where kind of like what you were saying before, where it's like, I was saying it last week, I was wondering, I'm like, do you think that there's any part of Eren that wants to go after this for some sort of vengeance rather than the whole, like, we need to do this, right? And I'm not really in one camp or the other yet, because I don't know. It's like, it's really hard to say. I think it's not that fully, you know what I mean? I think it's like maybe a little bit, but this again just adds another element to that now, in the sense that it's like, okay, if what you said is true, does Eren be like, okay, no, I don't trust anyone to be able to do this. Like, I have to finish this, and like, y'all don't know what you're talking about. Like, this is going to be a thing. I don't know, but now it seems like too, you know, if Eren is going along with Zeke, Eren's plan isn't let's just annihilate everyone, right? Unless he's got his own thing going that we haven't found out.
Yeah, we don't know the plan.
We don't know it exactly, but like, I don't know. I also feel the fact that they are family, technically, in the sense that they're stepbrothers, you know, or half brothers, because they share the same father. Like, there might be some weird connection there in terms of like things that they can do that others can't. I don't know. I could be pulling it out of my butt there. But I know that Willie Tybur, in his speech says that, or he said something a lot about inheriting the memories. And I remember we had asked the comments, we say, okay, how does this work? Is it just the previous user? Is it everyone? And a lot of the overwhelming response from the comments is that if you have a direct bloodline lineage, you could keep on looking back generations of memories instead of getting it severed if it was somebody else. So in the sense that they are, I don't know how far that extends, or if there's something where if it's like two separate Titans, but they're related, etc. I'm curious to know if there's anything to do with anything there, or if it's just kind of over speculation. But Zeke knows something big, and I don't think Eren just kind of like turncoated out of nowhere is the bottom line. He seems to be in great distress, and now it's like he's kind of going off the rails. That flex on Hanj, though, was insane. All right, first of all, Eren is like menacing now. Like, he's big as hell. He's shredded like nobody's business. And he's like, yeah, I could just break out like really whenever I want. But I'm doing this as a formality here. That's scary. And I'm really excited to see where this conversation with Armin, Mikasa, and him goes later, because even Armin, Mikasa, or Armin specifically, it's like, we have Titan serums now. So there are other people that potentially want to, you know, take over as Eren, or the Attack Titan. Okay, so are you going to try and feed him to someone against his will if he does not side with like what your thing is here? Like, what's the deal? You know?
Armin could probably do that if he really got down to it.
He is the colossal Titan.
If there's a Titan that could literally lift Eren up with a finger and feed him to another Titan, it's the colossal Titan. But like, that's the thing, right? Because that's Armin. So it's like, would he resort to that? Or does he feel that he has to? I don't know. But I mean, I guess this whole thing of like Mikasa and Armin are obviously like, you know, even amongst the group here, like Eren's boy, like, you know, I mean, they're ride or die, they're the trio, all that. So they're going to, you know, in this, if anybody's going to find out what Eren's goal is, or, you know, get him to confide this thing that Zeke told him, this variable, it would have to be one of them. But I don't even know if they're enough, because I keep thinking about the end of season 3 with the whole thing with Aaron Kruger when he's talking to Grisha, the idea that like he knew that he references Mikasa and Armin by name specifically, and he's like, you have to do this. This is the only way to save them. This is the only way to protect them. That like telling them what he knows is gonna like, you know, would like in a way ruin, like would make it so that it doesn't work. Cause it's like, if it, like it, you know, it's one of those like, I guess it's just like straight fucking with time, right? Where it's like, if he tells them the outlier of this plan, that will inherently somehow lead to them dying. And it's like, you know, so it's like, you know, it's that thing where it's like, it'll end up driving a wedge between them, because then they'll probably be hurt that Aaron won't even confide in them, where he's like, no, you guys don't get it. I'm doing this for you guys. Like, I'm doing this to save everybody, but like specifically I need to save you guys. And it's like, I don't know. I don't know what the fuck he knows. My thing is it can't be something. It's got to be something in the future or in the past, right? It's got to be something that he has ascertained from the memories of any one of the 3 Titans that he's consumed. And again, like with Zeke's back and forth or with his knowledge or whatever, you know, they've put together something. They're like, oh shit, like this is going to happen. Or like, you know, again, history is doomed to repeat itself in X way if we don't do this or we don't do something different. Or somehow one of them, and now both of them, have future knowledge of something that will happen. And they're like, if we don't step up to the plate and make a change and divert this path, like we're just going to go down the same road here, you know, and all this shit is going to repeat. And like, I keep thinking that, especially, you know, again, that specific duo and conversation of like Aaron Kruger and Grish, like those memories have to be in his mind, because that was like the motivator for him giving the Attack Titan to Grisha. Right? He was like, I'm like, and in my mind, you know, again, this is going off the theory that this is like some crazy fucking time loop shenanigans. If this is him just running through in this cycle here, in this circle, if him doing that was like, you know, a divergent path, like that was doing something different rather than him keeping it himself maybe and trying to, you know, just run the gambit. Like, what's next, right? What does Aaron have to do to keep that ball rolling? Or, like, you know what I mean? So I can't help but feel that, like, whatever this plan is between Aaron and Zeke, or whatever this, like, one specific thing is that they're only keeping to themselves, like, has to be kept to themselves. Because if anybody else learns about it, it, like, throws off the whole plan, like, the whole actual plan here, and then we're all fucked.
Yeah, I think Zeke is just holding a major key here, and there's obviously a reason, you know, that he can't tell anyone. But what else any profound scenes that happened in this episode that really hit anyone in particular besides, because that's kind of the overarching plot of this episode, you know, in total. And I don't know if there's anything else in particular that I'm missing here, anything that was important. I'm sure there were plenty of important things that I'm missing, but you get my point. Like, any standout things to any of you guys? I mean, Mikasa seems still be there, ride or die with him. Armin's the one that's like, we'll talk to him, let's see what happens. But, you know, we found out the motivations of the, I don't know their names, but the feudal, you know, clan, essentially, that Mikasa comes from.
Yeah,
some with an H. Hizuro or something like that is there for money and all this kind of stuff. But I don't know. I want to know who Historia, if it's anyone relevant. I guess maybe it's not someone too relevant by the way that they described her husband or the person who impregnated her. So that's,
yeah, they were kind of just like, yeah, it's like some farmer who threw rocks at her and now he's jealous, or not jealous, guilty. You know, now so he knocked her up. It's like, all right, cool.
Yeah, that came full circle.
Need kids.
Yeah, what the hell, man? I feel like there were plenty of better suitors, but I mean, you know, story, you do your thing. You chose. She came to him, so.
Yeah,
I don't know.
The guy said, Queen, I guess, you know, Queen, she can marry whoever she wants.
She can marry whoever.
Or I guess they didn't get married, right? That's not.
I don't know.
It was just about having kids.
I guess it was just about having kids. It's just strictly business. I don't know. I don't know what the deal was, man. That was crazy. And at the end, the Niccolo with the with the bottle, which I would assume is poison.
Poison, yeah.
You know, it's like, no, this one is just really good. This one's been aged for a while. Yeah. No,
why is there a dead rat on it? Don't worry about that. Don't show it to them.
I would assume it's poison. So, like, what's Niccolo's thing here? Is he going to try and, you know, cause some sort of uprising within the higher ranks, right? Because now these people are like, because some of the people in the higher ranks, again, are kind of using Historia as this mouthpiece. And it's like, nobody gives a shit about her, even if she's the queen. She's just propped up as like a pawn. We need to basically have her turn into a Titan. That way we could, you know, keep doing what we're doing here. And it's like, we need kids though.
I wonder if some of the higher ups are like starting to feel a little bit of this pressure of like, yo, is this even worth it? Like, do we actually seriously have a shot at winning this? Or are we just fucking around here and fooling ourselves? And like, Marley's going to come over here and just stomp us out. And yeah, Zeke and Aaron, of course, the big bad Titans want to talk big game, but like, what about the rest of us? And so I wonder if, and again, this is getting a little bit into what the next episode might be, but like, if there's something to be said for there's a I don't know, significant or a group of people on Paradise Island, whether they're higher ups or not, that are thinking about defecting or are thinking like, yo, maybe the grass is greener over there on the Marleyan side, and like maybe they're the ones with the military might, they're the ones with the power, they're the ones like who aren't having to like lay awake at night worrying if like this is and so I wonder if there's going to be enough infighting between the Marleyans and the Eldians that are just here on Paradise Island where it's like it's just crazy. This plan feels like it could go off without a hitch, assuming everybody like just stays cool, and like kind of plays their part. And it's like, all right, everybody just do your thing, shake hands with the person next to you, get along. But it's like people in themselves are variables, right? Because not every Marleyan here is like, yeah, I'll talk to the Eldians and get to know. I mean, Gabby and Falco are like literally the prime examples of both of these sides, right? Where Falco seems to have a much more level head about this and is willing to be like, all right, well, maybe it's more about like the individual, and it's not, Eldians are trash because they're Eldians type beat. Where Gabby is not because she sucks. And,
sound argument.
I think so. And but I think like that is it's one thing for the people who live on Paradise Island to obviously inherently disagree with Gabby's mindset because they're like, whoa, what the fuck? But in the circumstance they are now, where Marley's like, look, we're coming knocking and we're taking out anybody who gets in our way. Like, are you over here or you over there? Like, just from that dinner conversation, I'd be hard pressed to think that none of those guys would be like, actually, yeah, I'm gonna go do the Marleyan thing because I want to not die.
Something like that. Yeah, they're definitely. I found it telling in that scene. Again, could be overlooking it, but I feel like every scene in Attack on Titan is very relevant. Every shot where one of the commanders or guys in charge is pouring the wine bottle, but he's like getting every single last drop, right? Where it's like, I found that scene very telling because it shows like a disconnect between the people that would probably struggle for said drop, you know what I mean, of it. Someone like Historia, who has come up from this very troubled past, along with some of the other folks in the main cast, part of the scouts, etc., and a lot of people that have to go on through this, and he's like, get me another bottle, like do this thing. And it's like this big disconnect of like, why don't we just run it this way? Like, Historia doesn't mean shit, like blah, blah, blah. And it's like, to me, when he does that, and again, could be overlooking, it's not about Eldians and it's not about that sort of future. It's about that person and just, those higher ups and trying to further whatever their interests are, right? And it's like, okay, this is what we have to do, etc. Could have totally misread that scene, but at least that's how I kind of interpreted it, at least on a small scale. So I don't know. I feel like everyone's got their own agenda here. So I don't know how this is going to go, but, it's going to go. Something's going to go, and it's probably going to happen soon.
The fuck does Zeke know, dude?
What does he know? And what does Aaron, how does this conversation with them go? I'm really thinking Aaron is just like, doesn't tell them what they wanted to know. And it's like, I can't tell you, like, I'm going about this.
Because I feel like the way, that this story is going is that like I said, this could work, and Paradise has a shot to winning if everybody's together and like united. But like that's the problem here is we've got so much infighting and so much questioning and deciding of other people's morals and ideals and conflict amongst ourselves that it's like if Aaron can't even, or vice versa, let's just say if Mikasa and Armin can't even trust Aaron. How are we going to win this fight together when we can't even trust, the dude, it's like, so that's what's going to be, I think, ultimately their downfall, which again is ironic if Zeke and Aaron's plan here is ultimately to save all these Eldians and to, it's, ugh.
There's a lot. There's a lot going on.
Ugh.
Anyway, folks, that is our discussion for the day. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. If you did, make sure you're dropping a like on this video, subscribing to the channel, commenting your thoughts down below. What did you think of our discussion? What are your thoughts on some of the things that we discussed today without spoiling anything, of course? Let us know all those thoughts in the comments down below. We do also have our comment of the day and a new question for anyone who wants to have their comment read on our next Attack on Titan discussion video. Gavin, if you'd like to take it away with our comment of the day here.
Why, certainly. Our comment is by Matt C. Question of the day: who is the progenitor of the Titans? And the answer is Ymir is the mommy of all the Titans and Eldians alike. I'm just theorizing, but I wonder if Eren if Eren's cold-driven mindset this season, because of the possession of most of the Titan power, is foreshadowing any backstory that we might learn about the creator herself. One thing is undoubtedly singular to Eren, though, and that is the ab pack that he so loudly smokes 100%. I was not expecting that ending. I was like reading it, and I was like, okay,
Bro,
you're not wrong.
None of that is wrong. Well, I mean, I don't know about the prediction stuff because that's prediction, but the ab stuff is 1,000% correct. It's just factual.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Especially when he flexes on Hanj the way he did
Oh, I
this
thought you were
episode.
talking about the abs again.
No, I was
Especially
going to
in that
say.
mirror?
No, I was going to say with his statement that he made, Eren did flex the fact that he had all the other Titans. So who knows? Your theory might not be hogwash.
Yeah. Did you notice too? Okay, I could be going crazy, but if you pull up the episode,
Yes.
I'm almost positive when he's like this and Han just talking to him, there is no mirror in front of him. And I was going to comment something about it on the reaction, but I was like, are my eyes deceiving me right now?
I'm pretty sure.
But I thought there was a mirror when they showed it last time, like when he's looking in it, but then when like she's talking, and I could just be, I don't know, I may have saw what I saw.
I think he was.
my
It's
eyes
also
were
interesting
playing
how he's repeating killing or fighting,
fight,
over and over
fight,
and over.
fight.
So
Yeah.
he's definitely losing a couple marbles. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
He's but sometimes you gotta lose a couple marbles
to gain a couple
kill a
marbles.
bunch of niggas.
Yeah, I guess.
Tell me
Fair
I'm wrong.
enough. You're not, though. Anyway, Matt C., thank you very much for the comment and for watching the entirety of our video. If you want to be the next person to have your comment featured on our discussion video, make sure you guys are answering the question, which will be what? Does anyone have one for today's video that they wanted to throw out there?
What is the specialty of the Beast Titan
Okay, awesome. So what is the specialty of
in terms of like combat?
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
I
what he
mean?
does
they
during
all kind of
combat.
have like their own little
Yeah.
you know, thing.
Exactly.
And what's his favorite baseball team?
Yeah.
Last one's option. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. So answer that question if you guys made it to the end of this video, and then state your comment, and you might just have your comment read in our next week's episode. Lastly, big shout out to our patrons, especially our acolytes of anime, Stoic and Nathan. Couldn't do it without you guys. Love you all from the bottom of our hearts. But until next time, we'll miss your beautiful faces, and we will catch you on the flip. Peace.
Peace.
Ninjas are samurais, blaze of the kunais. Find me in the leaf of the cloud, screaming out Bankai. We just some ghouls though, who like seeing parts fly.